In the process of working out this formula that we're creating, we have run into a situation where some different values can cause our formula to react incorrectly. We can't really have, if we want to have a fairly consistent 150% sale for our, whatever the cost of something is, we can't be buying things for $1.25 and throw a $9.99 sticker on them. Now, granted, they do that in a lot of places, but if we want to maintain a consistent markup, then our formula has to be a little bit smarter than this. So what it's got to do is determine first if the value here is going to fall into one of three categories. And I've got those three categories listed right here. One is things that are, less than $10. And then the other one is things that are over $999, over $1,000. Our formula's got to be smart enough to detect which situation that is and give us the proper outcome. So if things are less than $10, then it needs to only deal with the cents portion and not change the dollar amount. And if things are over $1,000 or more, then it needs to add in that comma and take that into account when it does its formulations. So let's see how we can fix that. First, we're going to do the smaller numbers because that's easy. What we're going to use to do this is the if function. And I'll go ahead and start that over here just as an example. With the if function, it's really very simple. It has a test that it performs, and then based on that test, it has an outcome. So we have an outcome if the test is true, and then we have an outcome if the test is false, or if the result of the test is false. Let's do an equal sign, if, and then our opening parenthesis. So now we have the logical test. I'm going to illustrate for you the simplest way that the if function can be used, and then we're going to kind of take that up a little bit and do something else with it. If, let's say F5, if F5 is less than 10, and then our comma. So now what we have done is, this is our test. Is F5 less than 10? If we ran this with that value right there, the result would be true. If F5 is less than 10. Is $1.25 less than 10? Yes, it is. So the result is true. If the value in here was, $15, then what it would do is say, if $15 is less than 10, and that would not be true. So the result would be false. So if the result is true, if F5 is less than 10, what do you want me to do? That's what the if function is saying. And what we want it to do is the value, let's just do a string of text. We'll put the word true, and then a comma, and then what do you want to do if it's false? We're just going to put the word false, and our double quote there, and closing parenthesis, and that's it. Okay, one more look. If, here's our test, F5 is less than 10. It'll go to F5, look at the value, and determine if that value is less than the number 10. If it is, it's going to print the word true. If it's not, it'll print the word false. So we hit enter. And it's printing the word true right now. What happens if I put 845? It's still true. What happens if I put 1105? It is now false. Okay, because that value is not less than 10. What if I put 10? The value is still false. Why? Because 10 is not less than 10. It's equal to 10. Now, in that case, it doesn't matter, but that's just something that we need to take into consideration. But what we're looking for is anything, basically, that is less than 10. So 999. We're going to take that formula, that if function, and instead of having these values of true and false, what we can do is we can put a nested function there, or another formula. So that would tell us if F5 is less than 10, run this formula if it's true. If it's not true, run this formula. So you can look at these positions here, the true value and the false value, as yes, you can put text there, you can put a number there if you want, or you can put another, whole series of nested functions there to tell Excel, perform this function if that value is true, or perform this other function if the value is false. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the next video.